Welcome back. It is 8:13, and have you ever wondered why you do what you do? Maybe you laugh when you're nervous, maybe you bite your fingernails. Well, all of this examined by author Don Crosby here in his new book, The Why You Do. Joining us now to talk about human behavior. Thanks for coming in.
Oh, Paige, it's just a joy and an honor to be here.
Well, good. It's good to have you. And this is interesting. I mean, people love to talk about this kind of thing, right? Because you're learning about yourself and other people. And I filled out, what do you call this? It's not a test, right?
An assessment.
An assessment, okay. I filled out an assessment earlier that you have people do that you talk about in the book that helps you kind of get insight into what makes them tick, right?
Right. Well, actually, what the book is about is, and talks about on the cover, is unlocking those behavioral misunderstandings. Because a lot of people don't really want to get so far to take the exam or the survey. They, because of stuff that happened when they were young, or, you know, I tell people there's three things that you need to do. You need to discover who you are, you need to accept who you are, and then you need to celebrate who you are.
Well, I think that's a great attitude. And one of the important things I would think for the usefulness of this information also is not only insight into yourself, but insight into people that you work closely with, right? Spouses, co-workers. Is it used for that type of thing?
Absolutely, yeah. It was designed 40 years ago for the workplace.
Oh.
And then I've been doing this for 25 years. And so, but my passion is people. And I would receive a phone call from a president of a company. And he'd, a Friday afternoon, he'd say, Don, can you do with my family? Can you do with my family what you did for my company? And so I just found out that my wife is filing for divorce. I need help. And so we walk into the family and do this. And most of the time, it's very successful.
Because it helps you realize sort of how to communicate with people, right?
Absolutely.
It reminds me of the Myers-Briggs. A little bit of, I'm sure you're familiar with that. A lot of people have been throughout the years.
Myers-Briggs?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know. I'm sure that's a competitor or something. But
no.
You know.
It's just old technology.
Okay, well, then this is the new stuff.
No disrespect.
No, not at all, not at all. So let's talk about specifics here for a minute, though. What is a specific example of something you could use this for if you find this out, for example, about yourself or about your spouse or your coworker?
Well, we started this with my nephews when they were 7 and 9. And my nephew would call me up and say, Uncle Don, can you talk to Mom and Dad because they really don't understand me?
Oh.
So that's just a simple area. Husbands and wives. My wife and I, we've been married for 30 years, but we use this in our communication all the time.
So, for example, how do you talk? Your wife, maybe she prefers to be communicated with in a manner different from how you would typically do that. Can you give me an example of how that works?
A couple years ago, one morning, she said, she was talking to me. I said, sweetheart, I says, your communication style's changed. And she says, what? And I says, you've gone from being a seller to a teller.
What does that mean?
Well, instead of selling me on what I should do, telling me what to do. And so I said, sweetheart, I work with companies all day long, executives, and I don't really like to be told what to do.
Yeah.
Just bear with me and kind of sell me on what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
And so I said, would you be so kind to take another survey? I went, she filled it out. True story. Saturday morning, I'll never forget it. And she says, why do you have to survey everybody in your life? And she did. She took it. I put it in the computer, and you know, thank God I was right.
Yeah.
And she looked at it, and I walked out, and I came back, and I started laughing, and I said, I am so sorry. But what would happen to most couples in a situation where the communication style wasn't in sync? You know, you could go for a week or two with a communication break. And
never know what it's coming from.
And never know. And one thing leads to another, and things pile up and they build up. So.
It's kind of like the love languages again, right? It's sort of like learning to meet somebody where they are rather than where you think they should be.
Absolutely. This is similar to having a behavioral MRI. It knows the entire behavior of someone in a very, very short amount of time.
I like it. All right, Don Crosby is the author, local author here of The Why You Do. This is what the book looks like. We appreciate the time. Thanks for coming in.
Paige, thanks for having me. I appreciate it very much.
Nick Koser did not take the survey.
No, I didn't.
But he should have.
Don, I have a question for you. Why do we all choose to wake up at 2:30 in the morning? What's the deal?
Well, I can answer that. Paige has high energy, and she's people-driven.
I agree 100%.
And the people are up at 2:30, Nick. That's why I do
Nick,
it.
you're next.
Me,
That's right.
Oh, you're going to watch me here? Yeah, no, I just need to pay the bills.